This is Krystal Moon, and you're listening to Shooting Up North with your host, Lewis Carlan.
Hello and welcome to Shooting Up North, the Indy Edition. I'm your host, Lewis Carlan, and I'm very excited today because we have a rising star in the world of professional wrestling joining us today. Very happy to welcome to the show, Krystal Moon. Krystal, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So I have to ask. I saw on your Facebook page you were going for your first haircut in about 4 months, and you said you were really scared. So I just want to ask you, how did the haircut go?
It was good. It's been actually quite a while since I had my hair cut. I'm very protective over my hair. I had one bad haircut when I was a kid, so I've been scarred. But no, it was good. I liked the result, and that hairstylist was really nice and comforting, so it was good.
Okay, so I'm sorry, let's go back for a second. You said you had one bad haircut as a kid, and it scarred you basically for life?
Yeah. It had really bad bangs, and she cut off way too much of my hair, and ever since then, I have remained with my long hair, so...
Okay. Well, I'm glad it all worked out. And hopefully you're on the road to recovery with in regards to haircuts. So I'm glad it all worked out. Yeah. So let's go. So how did you become interested in pursuing a career in professional wrestling?
So I watched wrestling when I was a kid. My older sister actually got me hooked to wrestling. And for a long time, I never really thought about it as a career. I just enjoyed it, and I watched it, and I loved it. But I had an epiphany a couple years ago, and I thought, you know what? I think I can do this. I love it so much, and I want to love what I do, so I'm going to go out and try it. And I did my research, and I went down and I checked out Crossbody, and I met up with Ben, and kind of from there, it just clicked. And that was in May of 2016. I moved down to Kitchener July 2016.
Okay. All right. So you trained with at the Crossbody Academy then?
Yes, I do.
All right. That's you're still training there.
I still train. Obviously now with COVID, they're not open, but yeah, I still train as much as I can. So, yeah.
Okay, well, things are like getting back to normal. Has there been any indication when you can actually start training again?
I haven't heard anything. I'm not sure. I hope soon. I'm going stir crazy, as everyone else probably is. But yeah, I miss getting in the ring. I miss seeing my coaches and everybody that I train with. So I hope soon. Yeah. I'm sending all the positive vibes that we can get back in the ring soon.
Well, yeah, I'm sending. I will match all your positive vibes, and I'll send them as well. So I hope you guys get back in the ring soon. So you said you were watching. Used to watch wrestling with your sister. So who were some of your inspirations while you were watching wrestling? And what promotions did you watch? Did you watch WWE, WCW, Impact? What promotions were you interested in?
When I was a kid, I only really knew about WWE and a little bit of WCW, but pretty much just WWF/WWE. So my favorites were Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Chavo Guerrero, Lita, Victoria, and Kane. Actually, Kane was I was a big Kane fan. I still am, but I used to pretend to be Kane. Pretend to be Kane when I was younger.
Okay. Did you put on the full cane costume, the red
I
mask and
did,
the red
yeah.
outfit?
I had a trampoline in my backyard, so my sister and I used
Okay.
to pretend to be like wrestlers. We didn't really know any moves, but we like pretended, and I was always
Okay.
Key and she was
Okay.
Undertaker. So
Okay. Okay. Did you have a choke slammer? Or any choke slams involved?
no, so she chokeslammed me. She's like 10 years older than me, so
Okay.
I was a little young to be able to do that, but she would always like
Okay.
choke slam me, which was fun, and then a couple power bombs here and there.
Okay. All right. There you go. As long as you had the trampoline, you guys were safe then. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
so tell me a little about Krystal Moon. How did you come up with the character of Krystal Moon?
So I'm a big anime fan. All my friends know that. And my favorite show as a kid was Sailor Moon. So I always wanted to like
Okay.
pay homage to that and kind of think of a name. And I also wanted to make something a little bit personal to myself as well. So we thought Moon would be a great like part of a good name, but Krystal is my mom's name. So we just kind of formed them together, and I just wanted to embody kind of
Oh, are you still there? I think I lost
when
you.
Krystal Moon was born.
Yeah, you were. I lost you there for a few seconds, though. I didn't get to we didn't get to hear the full story.
This is Krystal Moon, and you're listening to Shooting Up North with your host, Lewis Carlan.
Hello and welcome to Shooting Up North, the Indy Edition. I'm your host, Lewis Carlan, and I'm very excited today because we have a rising star in the world of professional wrestling joining us today. Very happy to welcome to the show Krystal Moon. Krystal, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So I have to ask. I saw on your Facebook page you were going for your first haircut in about 4 months, and you said you were really scared. So I just want to ask you, how did the haircut go?
It was good. It's been actually quite a while since I had my hair cut. I'm very protective over my hair. I had one bad
Okay.
haircut when I was a kid. So I've been scarred. But no, it was good. I liked the result, and that hairstylist was really nice and comforting, so it was good.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Let's go back for a second. You said you had one bad haircut as a kid, and it scarred you basically for life.
Yeah, yeah. It had really bad bangs, and she cut off
Okay.
way too much of my hair,
Okay.
and ever since then I have remained with my long hair. So
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad it all worked out. I'm glad it all worked out, and hopefully you're on the road to recovery with in regards to haircuts. So
yeah,
I'm glad it all I'm glad it all worked out.
yeah.
So let's go. So how did you become interested in pursuing a career in professional wrestling?
So I watched wrestling when I was a kid. My older sister actually got me hooked to wrestling.
Okay.
And for a long time I never really thought about it as a career. I just enjoyed it and I watched it and I loved it. But I had like an epiphany a couple years ago, and I thought, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I think I can do this. I love it so much, and I want to love what I do. So I'm gonna go out and try it. And I did my research, and I went down and I checked out Crossbody. And I met up with Ben, and kind of from there it just clicked. And that was in May of 2016. I moved down to Kitchener July 2016.
Okay. All right. So you trained with at the CrossBody Academy then.
Yes, I do.
All right. That's oh, you're still training there. You're still training there.
I still, yeah, I still train. Obviously now with COVID, they're not open, but yeah, I still
Okay.
train as much as I can. So yeah,
Okay. Well, things are like getting back to normal. Has there been any indication when you can actually start training again?
I don't, I haven't heard anything. I'm not sure. I hope
Okay.
soon. I'm going stir crazy, um, as
Okay, I can
everyone
imagine.
else probably is. But yeah, I miss getting in the ring. I miss seeing my coaches and everybody that I train with. So I hope soon.
Sure.
I'm sending all the positive vibes that we can get back in the ring soon.
Well, yeah, I'm sending. I will match all your positive vibes, and I'll send them as well. So I hope you guys get back in the ring soon. So you said you were watching used to watch wrestling with your sister. So who were some of your inspirations when while you were watching wrestling? And what promotions did you watch? Did you watch WWE, WCW, Impact? What promotions were you interested in?
I really, when I was a kid, I only really knew about WWE, and a little bit of WCW, but pretty much just WWF/WWE. So like my favorites were Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Chavo Guerrero, Lita, Victoria,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Kane. Actually, Kane was like I was a big Kane fan. I still am, but I used to pretend to
Okay.
be Kane. I used to be pretend to be Kane when I was younger.
Okay. Did you put on the full Kane costume, the red
I
mask and
did,
the red
yeah.
outfit?
I had a trampoline in my backyard, so my sister and I used
Okay.
to pretend to be like wrestlers. We didn't really know any moves, but we like pretended, and I was always
Okay.
Kane and she was
Okay.
Undertaker. So
Okay. Okay. Did you have a choke slammer? Or any choke slams involved?
no, so she chokeslammed me. She's like 10 years older than me, so
Okay.
I was a little young to be able to do that, but she would always like
Okay.
choke slam me, which was fun, and then a couple power bombs here and there.
Okay. All right. There you go. As long as you had the trampoline, you guys were safe then. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
so tell me a little about Crystal Moon. How did you come up with the character of Crystal Moon?
So I'm a big anime fan. All my friends know that. And my favorite show as a kid was Sailor Moon. So I always wanted to like
Okay.
pay homage to that and kind of think of a name. And I also wanted to make something a little bit personal to myself as well. So we thought Moon would be a great like part of a good name, but Crystal is my mom's name. So we just kind of formed them together, and I just wanted to embody kind of
Oh, are you still there? I think I lost
when
you.
Crystal Moon was born.
Yeah, you were I lost you there for a few seconds though. I didn't get to we didn't get to hear the full story.
Oh, okay, so
Is it-
I just wanted to like embody who Sailor Moon was in the whole, Sailor Scouts. So I just
Okay.
wanted to be
Okay.
a happy girl that just like loves fighting the bad guys and the good guys win in the end kind of thing. So we just decided
All
to
right.
come up with Crystal Moon.
There you go. All right, sounds good. Sorry, yeah, you kind of lost you for a second, but that's cool. It's a great story. Love the character of Crystal Moon. And I'm going to talk about some of your matches a little later on. So speaking of matches, tell me about the your first match, and how you felt 5 minutes before you hit the ring, and how you felt 5 minutes after the match was over.
Good question. So my first match, I actually wasn't Crystal Moon. I wrestled under a mask. Um, it was a panda mask to be exact.
Okay.
And the 5 minutes before my first match, I was like behind the curtain, and I've never been that nervous in my entire life. And I had a fellow wrestler come up to me and say, "Don't mess it up, but you're gonna do great." So
Okay.
it was like a reassurance, but at the same time adding to my scared nervousness. But I knew, like, deep down I was in good hands because my first match was with Casey Spinelli. So I knew,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, I knew it would be great and I would have fun and I would learn a lot. So I go have the match and I come back, and the first 5 minutes after the match, I'm a mess. I start crying and I'm like hugging my coaches because my coaches were there, and I hugged Spinelli, and I cried. Definitely cried.
It was tears of joy though, right? Not tears of
Yeah.
sadness though.
No, tears of joy. Yeah.
Tears. Oh, okay. There you go. Casey Spinelli. That's a hell of a talent to have your first match with. So, like, how much did she give you any advice after the match? Did she sit you down and talk to you, or what? Tell. I'll let you answer the question.
Yeah, she did. She was great. Like, before the match, she gave me a good pep talk and, like, talked me down from my tree in a sense. So she really gave me, like, a sense of calm, and then after the match she sat down and, we broke it down, and she gave me some really good advice, and she's honestly, like, one of the nicest people I've ever met, like, I've met in the business. So it was great to have that talent and the experience level in the ring with me for my first time. So, and I love wrestling her to this day. So
Yeah. Speaking of, you mentioned that you were really nervous. Let's talk about your Impact Wrestling appearance,
yes,
because I will say, before the match, I watched the match before the match began. You were in the ring. You looked so. Forgive me, but you looked so very scared, so very
yes,
nervous before the match began. And am I correct in that assumption?
you're completely correct. I don't think besides my first match, I don't think I've ever been that. Like, I'm always nervous for every match, but that was the most nervous I had been for a match besides my first match. It was just the crowd and the cameras, and being in the ring with another great talent like Jessica Havoc was
Oh yeah.
so nerve-wracking and so crazy. And to be in that opportunity in that situation so early on in my career I was very fortunate. But yeah, definitely nervous.
Yeah, no, you could just see in your face. Well, when the camera's on you, when you're in the ring, if you were, I don't know, if anyone was closer, you probably was sweating profusely. That you look
Yeah.
so scared. But no, it was you did a good job. You did a good job. How did that match come about? So that must have been an incredible thrill for you when you found out that they wanted you for Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, it was super unexpected. Like, I got the call the night before. Actually, you know what? Technically, it was like a couple hours into that day. I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning. I got the message if I was available, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And they're like, "No, you need to make yourself available. Like, this is like." I'm like, "Okay." So I ended up calling into work, saying that I was sick, and then within like 4 hours, I was on the road to Windsor. So
Windsor,
it was,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I live in Windsor. I feel bad. I was in New York during that show. So if I wasn't in New York, I would have been at that show.
yeah.
So you're not gonna get in trouble now by admitting that you called in sick, are you? To
No,
work?
so no, I don't work at that place anymore. I ended up
Oh, okay.
leaving.
All
Yeah,
right.
so we're in the clear.
All right. So that's good. So you're good there. I don't want you to get. I would hate for you to be on my podcast and wind up getting fired, but from your job. But I'm glad you don't work there anymore, so it's okay. I would feel horrible. But back to the match, the Impact match. You took some crazy bumps in that match. I think there was a German suplex, if I'm not mistaken, that you looked like you hit hard. Were you okay after that match?
Oh yeah, I was great. Like, uh Jessica is great in the ring. She kept me safe, and she's another great human being inside and outside the ring. No, I was great. Like once the bell rang, I think all my nervousness and fear went out the window, and it just was like, you know what you're doing. You've done this before. Yeah, it's a bigger stage and with a bigger name, but like you know what you're doing. Just go out there and do the best job that you can, that you're asked to do. And she gave me that one German, and I'm like, yes, okay, we're in it. Like it was good. I was okay. Yeah.
So any indication that they may want you back when the matches resume?
I hope that would be fantastic. My phone is always, ready for those phone calls, and I will drop any job for that for that opportunity. But yeah, I would love to have that opportunity again to work for a great company, and their women's division is absolutely on fire right now. So
absolutely, man. It's I think it's the best in pro wrestling right now, without a doubt. Just signing Deonna Purrazzo, that was humongous. But Krystal Moon would be a great roster, by the way. Just throwing that out there in case Scott D'Amore is listening.
I would love that if he was listening. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you get to meet Scott D'Amore and Don Callis? Did they talk to you at all, or no?
Yeah, I had met Scott a few times, actually. Like I got to interact with him. I've been to a couple Impact shows, like just helping out, and I remember I got to talk to him, I think it was a few months before the Impact show that I was on. It was in Mississauga. I think they were doing something with Destiny, actually. And he was there.
Okay.
And the night before, I actually had a match with Aiden Prince.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I went up and I said hi to Scott, and he said his hi, how are you, kind of thing. And then I was sitting down, and he came over and he talked to me about the match with Aiden Prince. I guess he had watched it, and he's like, yeah, I heard it was really good. And he's like, I'll have to check it out. I'll check it out. And he talked to me about it for a bit. So getting to talk to him about one of my matches was really cool. And then a couple months later, I get the call to come down to Impact. So yeah.
All right, it's really cool. So we're gonna have to get the Impact Wrestling Sign Krystal movement going on Twitter. Hopefully we get that trending. We'll get that trending. How about we do it? We'll get that trending by the end of today. How about that?
That would be great.
All right, man. Let's do it. Let's like I said, it was a great match. You did a great job against Jessica Havoc, and I think they'll call you again. I think they'll bring it back because I know the matches are going to start soon. They come here to Windsor a lot, and in Toronto, and I have a good feeling it's not going to be the last time that we see Krystal Moon in an Impact Wrestling ring. That's my feeling on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So as you're a rising star, I'm going to ask you, how important is it for up and coming wrestlers to pay their dues, and how did you go about, or how do you go about paying your dues?
That's a really good question. I think paying your dues is super important. I lucked out with having 3 great trainers when I first started, really kind of drilling that into your head that you go to shows, you pay your dues, you help set up the ring, you ask if they need help, watch every match from the beginning, the opening match to the end of the match, help out, tear down the ring, do what you can. And I think it's still important. Still to this day, I do it. Like when I'm even booked on a show, I go and I help set up and tear down the ring. And even if I'm just checking out a show for fun, I do that. I think it's just super important for anybody, like a new up and comer, or I think you just need to do it, and it shows that you're dedicated and that you really, really want it. And I think it's super important.
So if say I'm not sure how old you are, but say like a 16-year-old man or woman come up to you and they want to become a professional wrestler, what's the first bit of advice you would give to them?
question. Gotta think about that. I mean, I think if you love wrestling, then I think you should totally do it. I think you should go and do your research first. Like, look into a couple schools, look into what it really takes and the hard work that it takes to become a professional wrestler. Get into a routine, and just dedicate yourself 100%, like inside the ring, in the gym, with your diet, and just go for it. Like, I'm up for anybody pursuing their dream at any age. So
there you go. That's actually that was a terrific answer, by the way. As you said it was a good question, but that was a fantastic answer. Fantastic answer. So let's switch gears here. Curious about the origins of the Empire and how you became involved with that faction.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I first met Matt Grant before I met JT, but when I met Matt Grant, he was reffing at Crossbody. So I saw him quite often, and I met him. I was still training, actually. I wasn't a wrestler yet, so I was around him a lot, and he is just a great guy. He was super welcoming, super nice, like really easy to talk to. And yeah, it just kind of like we clicked. And then he started wrestling at Crossbody, and then he brought in his brother, and it was kind of just just a random conversation that we had about like me possibly joining, or even us like wrestling together like 1 or 2 times. And then a couple months later, they brought up the idea, and I'm like, yeah, like that's awesome. Like, I would love to be able to wrestle with some really great guys that I respect and I have a lot of like things in common with. And they got to see me from literally day one. Like, I was a 50-50 girl at Crossbody when I first started. So being able to, join a group like that, and they're super busy, and being a part of them is super exciting. So
yeah, I was actually at the Taco Fest show. I can't remember your opponents. I think it was Holden Albright, Gab Fuerza, and Alexia Nicole, if I'm not mistaken. I believe those were your opponents. But that was a terrific match. Anything Holden Albright, and I'm going to ask you about Holden Albright a little later. But whatever he's involved in is fantastic. But that was a great match. And speaking of Alexia Nicole, you have a terrific rivalry going on with her in Crossbody. So let's talk a little bit about that rivalry. She's the Crossbody professional wrestling women's champion, of course. So your thoughts on Alexa, and how much have you learned from her during the course of this rivalry?
Yeah, she's great. Like, I know we're in a rivalry, but she is probably one of my favorite people to wrestle. It's just so like natural and easy, like, and fun with her. No matter how many times we wrestle, like it's every match is different. We always have fun, and we get along really well, and we mesh really well. And I've learned a lot. She has a lot more experience, and she's been a lot of different places, and and she's seen a lot, so she really helps me kind of develop. And even I think that feud over the last year and a half has really helped me in my confidence level, and just like overall really pushed me to be a better wrestler. And I owe a lot to her, to be perfectly honest. So she's hands down one of my like favorite people. So
yeah, I had her on the show. I interviewed her, and I did ask her about you, and she had nothing but praise for you, nothing but kind words. And she says that you're a terrific wrestler, and again, nothing but kind words for you from Alexia Nicole.
Well, it's very, very mutual. She, like I said, she's a great person, another great person inside and outside of the ring, and I could wrestle her every day. That would be great, and I'd miss wrestling her.
So when wrestling returns, are you gonna renew your pursuit for the Crossbody Women's title?
Yes, I am. I will not give up until I have that title. It means a lot to me. Like, it's the gym I train at. That's my home. So I feel like I need to keep pushing until I get that title. And it's been a long battle, but I just need that. I feel like I'm almost there. So when wrestling resumes, I will definitely keep on that hunt for that title.
Right, you also had a feud with, if I'm not mistaken, with Bianca Corelli as well. I believe I was watching some showcase series, and you have a little thing going on with her as well.
Yes, so she has attacked a couple of my good friends, Kyle Brooks and Young Love,
Okay.
and you don't mess with my friends. And she has a lot to
Okay.
say, so she thinks she can come into my house and run her mouth like that. That's why
Okay.
we have a little feud going on.
Okay. Is that feud still going on? Gonna resume when wrestling gets back, or has that feud been resolved yet?
I hope so. We were supposed to have a 6-man tag. It was supposed to be actually her
Okay.
and the Empire versus me, Kyle Brooks, and Young Love at Crossbody at one of their main shows. And it didn't end up happening because of COVID. COVID shut everything down. So I really, 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 really want that match to happen. So I hope the first show back at Crossbody, we can resume that and have that 6-man tag.
Nice. That's yeah, I hope so too. I think you really called her out. I think it was before a match with, if I'm not mistaken, with Laurel Cassidy. I think you called her out, or it may have been after the match, and she came out after the match. I could be mistaken because I've seen a few of them. But am I right there? Was it you called her out before the Laurel Cassidy match, or was it at
Yes,
some was that?
it was
Okay.
yeah, it was before the match. I called her out because she had attacked Young Love the previous show. So
Okay, cool. Speaking of Laurel Cassidy, she seems to be I know she's you've wrestled her. I believe she had a match with Alexia Nicole. Is she another up and coming wrestler? Is there something that you could maybe that you could take under your wing and guide her?
yeah, I would love to. Like, I had a lot of
Okay.
fun wrestling her in that match. I would love to have more women and and to really to come up and start pushing. The nice thing is Crossbody does the student showcase shows, which we've
Yeah.
talked about a little bit. So I would love to see her come to more of those and really be able to do that. And I would also love to wrestle a full match against her and not get interrupted. Um, but yeah, she has a great personality and she's really, really nice. So I really would love to wrestle her again.
All right, so I have a list. I have a list here of 4 names that of wrestlers that I like to ask, and I'd like to get your opinions on them. So the first name on the list would be LuFisto.
She is absolutely amazing. I love her. I look up to her a lot. She has a really great, cool look. I feel like she's a pioneer in women's wrestling, especially in Canada too. I would love to wrestle her and just to sit under her learning tree and to really pick her brain when it comes to wrestling. So she's just amazing.
Absolutely, and I am just like shocked that she's not signed to a major promotion. Just
I
shocked that she's not.
I know completely. I'm with you
It's
on that.
it's it's a complete travesty. Second name, Holden Albright.
Holden Albright. I have a lot of history with Holden. So he is the current crossbody pro wrestling champion, and he trained a little bit at Crossbody. It was before I came to Crossbody, but he trained there for a bit. But he is a locker room leader. Like whenever he's in a locker room, he will give you advice. He will watch your matches if you ask him. Even if you don't, he'll watch your matches and he'll give you feedback, which is really great. He's really fun to watch. He's a cool dude, and I respect him a lot. And he's probably one of the hardest working people I've met in the business. So I see, as everyone else does, really big things for him in the next couple years.
Absolutely. And does he make you buy him white monsters? Because
No, he doesn't.
he's a big white monster. Because whenever I'm going to the shows and I'm letting him know that I'm showing up, he's always like, "Oh, make sure you get me at least 3 or 4 cans of white monsters." So I have to bring that for him. So
There's a
the
couple
next,
fans at Crossbody
I'm
that bring
sorry.
him with white monsters. There's a couple fans
Oh
at
yeah,
Cross.
yeah. So he's a big white man. He actually got upset at me. Actually, it was during the Taco Fest show. During that match, actually, he came into the ring, and before the match was about to start, he told everyone. He just told put up his hands for everyone to hold up for a second. I don't know if you remember, but he came over and he asked me, "Did you get my white monsters?" And I was like, sorry, I forgot to get them. And he's like, "You didn't get them?" And he legitimately got upset with me, so I had to go out and find some white monsters in London, Ontario, and I did find a place to sell them, and I made him happy. So
Oh,
that's
that's good.
gotta keep holding Albright happy. Don't want to get that. Don't want to get him upset with me.
No.
So I'm just kidding. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Even if he got upset with me, he's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
The next guy, Pretty Ricky Wilde.
Oh, he is hilarious. He's the best. We have had a couple matches at Crossbody. I actually took the Crossbody Blue Ribbon Championship away from him in March of 2019. So we had a little bit of a feud going. But he is probably one of the most, if not the most entertaining human beings I've ever met. He's just a show. You just watch him, and it is the Pretty Ricky show. But he's such a great guy, and he's always open to learning, and he works really hard. And even his promos now, like during COVID, are just so hilarious, and his mind can imagine goes a mile a minute. So.
Absolutely. No, his promos during COVID are just like you said, they're absolutely fantastic and they're so entertaining, and he's a great talent. But he told me that he's done with wrestling, and I hope he's not telling the truth. I hope he's just kidding around with me. But I hope it's not the last time we see Pretty Ricky in the ring. I hope he's. Because I was trying to get it out of him. I was like, are you kidding? He's like, no. He's like, no, dude, I'm done. I'm done with wrestling. I was like, I don't believe him, but that's what he says. I guess we'll see what happens when unless you know if he's actually done or not. If you know the secret, unless you want to keep it secret.
I am just as shocked hearing this. I hope he's just pulling your leg. Like, yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hope so too. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's just pulling my leg. So the last name on the list, Jody Threat. I think it's another great talent. But Jody Threat.
She's amazing. She's like so cool, like inside and outside of the ring. Her strength is undeniable. She is a beast in the ring. And seeing her blossom into this amazing talent, and because we got our green light around the same time, so seeing her just really push the limits and the boundaries, and she literally took over. Like, the second she stepped foot in any promotion, she just kind of took the reins and ran with them, and she's everywhere now, literally everywhere. So, which is fantastic, and it's really great to see that. I haven't wrestled her in a while, so I would definitely really love to wrestle her again sometime soon when everything, gets back to normal, or whatever normal is now. But but she's great. She's definitely I can see it in the next 2 to 5 years. She's going to be somewhere. Like, I don't know where, but she will be somewhere big.
Absolutely. And you called her a beast in the ring. It was during the Can USA show for Smash Wrestling last year. She's coming down the aisle, and I wanted to give her a high five. I thought she was going to give me a light high five, but when she hit me with the high five, I thought my arm was going to pop out of its socket. That's how hard she hit me. So I was like, holy smoke. Right, so you're correct in calling her a beast in the ring. She's incredibly strong. So literally my arm was like throbbing after the high five.
I can imagine.
So, all right. So who in your during your career up to now? So who has been your favorite opponent? Who would you say is your favorite opponent?
Oh, I think my favorite opponent is definitely Alexia. I think we just have a really great chemistry. We have really bonded over the last year and a half, and it's always fun. It's always fun, and we already know what we want to do, and it's just, we tell a really great story. We have a really great story when we wrestle each other, and that's half the thing with wrestling, is if you have a good story, everything else comes with it. So it's like instantaneously, like we have this chemistry in the ring, and we have, people in the palm of our hands when we get in there. So I really, I think she's definitely my favorite opponent. But also I love wrestling Casey Spinelli. Another person that I'm shocked she is not signed. I don't understand.
I agree with
Um,
I thought when she was making all those Impact appearances that she was going to get signed by them, but
oh,
I'm with you on that. I'm surprised that she hasn't been signed by a major promotion.
yeah, she is. She's like a big sister of mine. She's really given me a lot of wrestling advice, life advice, and has really, kind of taken me under her wing, and has, yeah, really watched out for me. Even when I don't think she's watching out for me. So it's she's great. She's fantastic. So yeah, Spinelli and Alexia for sure.
All right, what about dream opponents? Is there who's your one dream opponent that you hope to step into the ring with one day?
Ooh, I had to think about that for a second.
Well, it could be
Um,
more. I said one. It could be if you have like two or three. That's fine as well.
Dream opponents. I have a couple actually. Yeah. So I have a few ladies that I want to wrestle, and there's a few guys that I want to wrestle. Um, but I would obviously Lufisto is one of them. We talked about her already, but she's definitely like top up there for sure. I would love to wrestle her. I'm trying to think somebody who I haven't wrestled in Ontario yet. I'm trying to think who I haven't wrestled. Because I always want to wrestle like new people, and I really want to try to wrestle as many Ontario girls that I can. But I'm trying to think off the top of my head who I haven't wrestled. Um, who haven't I wrestled? I haven't wrestled Shiloh, which would be kind of cool. Um,
Okay.
I know she was injured, but hopefully she'll be back soon. But yeah, dream opponents. Lufisto is probably up there. Oh, Kimberly,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
sure. I love that she's on Impact right now and really, getting some TV time, which I think she's just fantastic. I really, really, really want to wrestle her.
Okay.
Definitely. Also, Sue Young, I got to do some extra work about 2 years ago with Impact doing the Undead Bridesmaid. So I got to do that a couple times, and she's awesome, and I would really love to wrestle her. That's definitely up there. So those are like some of my favorite ladies that I want to wrestle. But guys, Blake 182, he comes to crossbody, and he has trained at Can-Am, and he's in the States. He's American. He's fantastic. If you haven't seen him wrestle, go on crossbody and definitely check him out. He's one half of the new crossbody tag team champions. So
Oh
he's
yeah,
definitely,
the
yeah,
embassy, the embassy. Yeah.
yeah. Actually, you know what? I want to wrestle both of them, him and Shogun.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I had a brief conversation with Shogun a little while back about having a match with him. So I think that would be a hell of a match. So definitely Blake, 182, and Shogun are definitely on my list to wrestle. And I want to wrestle Aiden Prince again.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are three of my top picks.
Is that Aiden Prince match available on to be streamed anywhere, like on YouTube or anything?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on
Okay.
Crossbody Pro Wrestling. It's one of the student showcase matches, actually.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Now
Yeah,
you mentioned that you were an undead bride. I didn't know that you were an undead bride
yeah,
for a. I didn't. I know Alexia Nicole was an undead bride. I didn't know that you were an undead bride as well. That must have
yeah.
been
I did.
fun. That must have been fun.
Oh, it was so much fun. I did it a few times. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. Getting to do that, and getting to meet and hang out with Sue Young was great. And yeah, it was a really great opportunity to kind of get my foot in the door with Impact. And yeah, I got the call once, and whenever they were in Toronto or Windsor, they gave me the call. And so yeah, I've been on Impact TV a few times.
So were you an Undead Bride when Alexia Nicole was an Undead Bride at the same
No,
time, or was it different times?
I think it was
Okay.
different times. I think that's the only one when they were in Canada that I didn't go and do.
Okay, no, I was asking that because I remember in Windsor, during the Windsor show, Alexia Nicole was an Undead Bride, and I was just wondering if you were one of the Undead Brides as well during that show. But no, that's cool. That's how everyone gets their start. Like I said, don't wanna go back. I know we talked about Impact Wrestling, but you're definitely gonna be back in an Impact Wrestling ring, in the near future once they get started. I can feel it. I can really feel it.
Good.
So I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then I'll let you plug. I know you have a nice a crossbody shirt that they have available at their store on Pro Wrestling Tees. So I'll let you plug anything, social media, any merchandise. So last question is, so what's the ultimate goal? Where would you like to end up? Is it WWE, Impact, maybe in Japan? What's the ultimate goal for Krystal Moon?
So if you would have asked me a couple of years ago when I first started training, I would have said number one, my goal is to get signed by WWE, like for sure. But now that I've been wrestling for almost 3 years now, my answer has changed. Obviously, I would love to get signed by WWE, but that's not really my like end all be all goal. I think my goal is just to do wrestling full time, like to be able to do it and make it my full time career and make a living off of it. So I would love to go to Impact. I would love if WWE called me, I wouldn't turn them down. I would love to go to Japan. Would love to go to Mexico. So yeah, it's just to travel and to do wrestling full time, and that's all I really want to do. So I'll go wherever, honestly.
All right, fair enough. Is there any specific promotions in Japan that you have your eyes on? Maybe like a Stardom, I know is the number one promotion out there for women. But are there any promotions out there that you would like to get to?
Hands down, Stardom. Like
Okay.
that's definitely the number one place to go. So yeah, that's on top there for sure. And I want to wrestle in the UK. That's another thing too, is to go to the UK.
Okay. May I ask how old you are? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm 27.
Oh, see, you're very very young, so you have plenty of time to get to anywhere you want to get to, and I have no doubt that you'll get there, and all your professional wrestling dreams are going to come true. So before we go, like I said, if you have anything you want to plug, merchandise, social media, I'll let you plug away.
Yeah, definitely. I have, like you were saying before, I have the T-shirt at Crossbody Wrestling Tees, Pro Wrestling Tees. So definitely go and check that out. There's a lot of other great wrestlers that you can support there on that as well. Holden Albright, Alexia Nicole actually have tees on there as well. I am hopefully coming out with a T-shirt of my own very, very soon. My fingers are crossed. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Krystal Moon _PW. You can check me out there, and the same handle for my Twitter as well. My Twitter is pretty boring. I just pretty much talk about wrestling and dogs. But if you like dog videos, check me out on Twitter. And yeah, those are my social media.
No, I mean I love dogs. I love the dogs. Are like I'm a dog person, so I think I would I've been on your Twitter account, and I don't find it boring at all. It's a
Great.
very it's a great Twitter account that you have. So do you have any dogs right now? Do you have any pet
I
dogs?
I do. I have one dog. His name's Headley. He
Okay.
is he'll be 15 in December.
Oh wow.
Yep.
What kind of dog? What breed?
So he's a mix of a Belgian Schipperke and an Alaskan Kalikai. So
Okay.
in yeah, so he pretty much looks like a black miniature husky.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, no, that's dogs are great. I mean, I wish I could get a dog, but the wife doesn't want one, so
Oh,
unfortunately I can't get one. But I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was an absolute blast talking to you, and I think you're incredibly talented, and I know I said it twice. I'll say it again. We're going to see you back in an Impact Wrestling ring very very soon, and I do believe that all your professional wrestling dreams are going to come true. And again, I just want to thank you for being on the show today.
oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And anytime you want to come back, you're always welcome. And like I
All
said,
right.
anytime you want to come back, just let me know, and I'd love to have you back.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. I'm your host, Lewis Carlan. This has been Shooting Up North, the Indie Edition. I want to thank my guest, Krystal Moon, for joining me today. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye, and stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.